Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Well, Travis Boyne is one of the fine clubs in Michigan, in the southeast area around Ann Arbor, Detroit, with the tournament that they had this year with the LPGA. And they've had some good players here, too, including a young man who started under Bill in the design business, Jim Leip. He won the club championship here one year. Give us a little line about Jim.
He was hired as an intern, really, and then became a partner of mine a year later, and was a great player. Was really a very good player.
Right, and he's wound up working for Jack Nicklaus now.
He did, and he I think he's on his own pretty much now. But, you know, there's a lot of interplay among architects and projects, and sometimes you need help. And I think Jim has turned that initial experience with Nicholas into a good architectural career.
Terrific. And your experience with Everett Kircher turned into a little trip to the West Coast and Alaska, right?
It did.
Tell us about that.
It did. Well, as anyone who knows Everett knows, he will test you and question your answers sometimes. And we were involved with Everett then. I went to Everett and said, you know, I just read in Golf Magazine an invitation for proposals for this course in Mountain View, California. And I think it fits what you and I do, which is basically design, build, and manage. And that's what they wanted. And so Everett was reluctant to think about the West Coast. At the same time, I think Big Sky was into play at that point, and so they were expanding. They went from Michigan to Montana, and I think it was a short leap to California from there. So exactly that happened. We made the request for proposal, and I say we as Boyne, USA, and Newcomb. And of course, I was the workhorse. Always understood I would be the workhorse. And so we went out there and we actually took the contract. In the initial contract was with Robert Trent Jones Jr. And then he did the basic design, and we took over from there. We constructed it and we operated it, which was a terrific thing in the West Coast. And you know, the number of rounds they play in the San Francisco zone is just obliterates how the number of rounds you have here. You can't believe it. Well, it was that experience then, and because we had this single source ability to do it all, there was another proposal that came up. This time it was in Anchorage, Alaska. And so I went back to Everett and I said, you know, I think we ought to think of do this. Well, by that time, Everett had was underway, fully underway with Big Sky. We had done successful work there at the Shoreline, and he was ready to go. That was fine with him. We'll go to Anchorage, Alaska. And so we did. We went up there, and in that case, we did the entire project. We designed it, we constructed it, and we operated it. And then eventually sold it to a Japanese consortium. Well, we sold the contract for basically a 50-year operation. So all of that turned out very successful, and it was very interesting from my viewpoint as an architect to be so far removed. So we hired more people, more qualified people, and we almost acted like a real company.
Well, what was it like to design a course up there? Are you on the permafrost, or what's the land like?
Some of it was permafrost, but we designed in near Anchorage, and it was called Section 16, which in the state of Alaska, every Section 16, which is like a township for us here, a little smaller than a township, is a public park. And so you can do whatever you want as long as it's a park setting. And so we had Section 16. It was rolling. It was basically tree covered. And it was a long project. It was a 3-year project. The only thing that goes quickly up there is growing grass. When that grass hits the ground, week later you got grass. And
How long does that last? How long does that season last?
the season lasts very short. It's the reverse side. You wonder why the grass and the maintenance is so minimal up there. It's because this is the season is. But really, we'd sell greens fees at 10 o'clock at night for nine hole play. It was quite an experience. The first year I was up there, I stayed until December 17th, and we had about 4.5 hours of sunlight at that point in time. So, and our kids, they spent summers there for 3 years, and our oldest daughter was born in Alaska.
Wow.
So a lot of fond memories on the West Coast. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of
That's
fond memories on the West Coast.
very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's beautiful country up there.
it is.
And it is a long way away. Yeah.
It is.
Well, any other courses that are on your favorite list?
Well, the favorite list, of course, is everything you ever did. But those two courses, the Shoreline course in San Francisco and Alaska, Anchorage, are two of my favorites and hold probably the most memories because the family was young, the children were young, and we lived there. We lived with the natives. That was great.